Have we ever truly considered what it means to live a fulfilling life after turning 70? In this video, we're sharing 11 powerful things we let go of to transform our journey into one filled with peace, joy, and renewed purpose. Whether we're approaching this milestone or already embracing it, these insights can help us redefine life, shed what no longer serves us, and focus on what genuinely matters. Stay with us until the end for practical steps that can inspire a meaningful transformation toward a more joyful chapter. If you're new here, consider subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss future content. Your support means a great deal, and if you enjoy this video, liking and sharing can help us continue spreading these valuable lessons. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment with 1 if you like the topic or 0 if you think there's room for improvement. Turning 70 was more than a birthday. It was a profound turning point, a milestone urging us to reflect deeply on our lives and what truly matters. Crossing into this chapter, we found that life isn't just about aging. It's about embracing a transformation that brings clarity and purpose. This stage invites us to release outdated patterns, habits, and mindsets that no longer align with who we are. Letting go of these brought us invaluable gifts, peace, joy, and a renewed sense of purpose. This journey wasn't easy. Decades passed with beliefs and habits that felt essential to our identity, yet entering this phase revealed the weight we carried. The unnecessary burdens clouding happiness and limiting freedom. We consciously decided to release what held us back from the life we'd always imagined but hadn't dared to claim. The change was remarkable. Our hearts felt lighter, our days brighter, and our purpose clearer than ever. Letting go isn't about giving up or surrendering to age. It's about shedding layers that have kept us from truly living. No longer bound by outdated beliefs, fear of judgment, or pressure to meet others' expectations, we discovered that true freedom arises when we release the past and welcome the possibilities the future holds. Reaching 70 became a gateway to rediscovering who we are, individuals deserving joy, tranquility, and fulfillment. It's about choosing what truly matters and finally letting go of everything that doesn't. In return, we found the extraordinary gift of living authentically, with gratitude and purpose. This process of letting go was more than decluttering. It was a powerful reclaiming of our spirit. Embracing this path allowed us to savor each day, free from the weight that once held us back. By letting go, we unlocked a life brimming with peace, joy, and love beyond anything we'd ever imagined. 1. Embracing freedom from constant busyness. In our younger years, many of us got swept into the current of non-stop activity. We believed that pushing through long hours, managing endless projects, and staying busy meant we were thriving. Achievements piled up, promotions came and went, and each milestone gave us a sense of security and accomplishment. Yet, beneath that hustle lay a gnawing question: were we truly fulfilled? Every moment spent in this fast-paced cycle seemed to promise success, but it left us drained, with barely a pause to consider if we were moving toward joy or merely away from failure. By the time we reach our 70s, life offers us a new vantage point. We start to see the costs of that relentless drive, the missed moments, the cherished connections we sidelined, the deep satisfaction we traded for fleeting rewards. The long days and busy schedules may have once fueled us, but now they feel more like chains we unconsciously accepted. Slowly, we realize that true fulfillment doesn't lie in staying endlessly occupied but in choosing activities that genuinely enrich us. This newfound perspective encourages us to question our habits. Instead of automatically saying yes to every task or project, we ask, does this align with what truly matters to us? If a commitment doesn't resonate with our deepest values, we learn to let it go. It's an empowering shift, a decision that allows us to step away from the frenzy and instead choose intentional, meaningful actions that genuinely reflect who we are now. This transition feels liberating, almost like shedding a heavy cloak we've worn for too long. Suddenly, we discover that the quiet moments we once overlooked have become treasures. Time with loved ones, simple hobbies, and unhurried conversations offer us a richness that our past busyness never could. We're no longer driven by the pressure to stay relevant or the fear of losing ground. You may ask yourself, then, what can I do to letting go of working just to stay busy? Here's our suggestions. 1. Prioritize purpose over productivity. Take time to evaluate why you're working and which activities truly matter to you. Reflect on your goals and values, and use them as a filter for how you spend your time. When a task or project doesn't align with what's personally meaningful, consider whether it's worth doing at all. By focusing on purpose rather than mere productivity, we begin to cultivate a life that resonates with our core values. This shift empowers us to spend our energy on activities that bring genuine fulfillment and reduce the stress of constant busyness. 2. Schedule intentional breaks. Build intentional breaks into your daily routine as a way to pause, reset, and recharge. Try setting aside even a few minutes each hour to step away from work, stretch, or simply breathe. These small moments of rest help us manage stress, increase focus, and reconnect with ourselves. Over time, regular breaks foster a mindset that values rest as much as productivity, helping us resist the urge to fill every moment with work. When we respect our need for rest, we're better able to enjoy the work we do choose to engage in. 3. Learn to say no. Saying no to certain commitments can be challenging, especially when we're used to a busy schedule. Practice assessing each new opportunity by asking yourself if it aligns with your goals and values. If it doesn't, give yourself permission to decline politely. This habit can feel uncomfortable at first, but over time, it becomes liberating. By consciously choosing where we direct our time and energy, we reclaim our schedule and leave space for activities that genuinely enrich our lives. 4. Reframe success as balance. Redefine success as achieving balance, not simply staying busy. Embrace the idea that a successful day is one where we're engaged in a variety of meaningful activities, not just work. Balance includes time for relationships, hobbies, rest, and personal growth. Shifting our mindset from constant productivity to overall well-being allows us to see that success is about a rich, balanced life. With this perspective, we're more likely to let go of unnecessary busyness and welcome the satisfaction that comes from a well-rounded day. 5. Cultivate mindful presence. Practice being fully present in each task or moment, whether it's work-related or not. Mindfulness brings awareness to our thoughts, making it easier to recognize when we're falling into the trap of working out of habit or compulsion. By staying present, we cultivate a sense of calm and intention that makes it easier to focus on what truly matters. The more we train ourselves to appreciate each moment, the less we feel the need to fill our time with endless tasks, finding joy instead in a slower, more meaningful pace. There's a surprising joy in stepping back, in valuing rest and reflection as much as achievement. When we break free from the compulsion to keep busy, we find that our energy replenishes, and our passions reawaken. Our focus shifts from proving ourselves to embracing the life we've built and the relationships that sustain us. Each day becomes an opportunity to engage fully, whether in meaningful conversations, creative pursuits, or simple, restful moments. With this perspective, we no longer equate busyness with self-worth. Instead, We recognize that true success lies in the quality of our experiences, the depth of our connections, and the peace we cultivate within ourselves. 2. Letting go of mindless spending. For years, we fell into the trap of mindless spending. We lived in a world that constantly told us to buy more, that happiness was only a purchase away. Messages of consumerism were everywhere, urging us to acquire things we thought would bring us fulfillment. We listened. Our homes filled with gadgets, clothes, and decorations, things we believed would add joy to our lives. Yet the happiness they brought was fleeting, vanishing as quickly as it arrived. What remained? Rooms crowded with objects, and an emptiness that grew with every impulsive purchase. Less is more. This simple yet profound proverb captures the wisdom behind our shift away from mindless spending. On the surface, it seems paradoxical. How could having less lead to a richer life? Yet, in our fast-paced, consumer-driven society, this saying challenges us to question our habits and assumptions. Less is more invites us to recognize that accumulating possessions does not necessarily lead to happiness or fulfillment. Instead, it suggests that by reducing excess, we create space for what truly matters. This insight pushes us to consider not just the quantity of things in our lives, but the quality and meaning they bring, advocating for intentionality in how we spend our resources. Analyzing this proverb further, we see that it encourages mindfulness over materialism. When we reduce the clutter, both physical and mental, we allow ourselves to focus on experiences, relationships, and personal growth. By spending consciously, we learn to value experiences over objects, creating a life filled with memories rather than meaningless items. This shift from quantity to quality, driven by the principle of less is more, brings a depth and clarity that are often obscured by consumer culture. In choosing to own fewer but more meaningful possessions, we enrich our lives with purpose and intention, stepping away from the empty promises of consumerism and toward fulfillment that cannot be bought. Less is more also speaks to the power of simplicity. In a world that often equates success with accumulation, this proverb reminds us that true success might lie in living with purpose and restraint. Simplicity allows us to pursue only what aligns with our values, making room for peace and satisfaction. A simpler life opens the door to greater freedom, not just financially but emotionally, as we break free from the pressures of constant consumption. This proverb, then, becomes not just a statement but a philosophy, challenging us to redefine wealth, happiness, and the nature of a life well lived. As time went on, we began to see the truth. Material possessions might bring momentary satisfaction, but rarely anything lasting. Those things we had accumulated, hoping they would fill us with joy, didn't hold the answers we sought. Slowly, we recognized that true wealth isn't found in things. Instead, it lies in the richness of experiences, the warmth of relationships, and the depth of moments that truly touch our hearts. We made a choice to step off the treadmill of mindless spending. We decided to pause, to ask ourselves what we really needed, and to start buying with purpose. Now, each purchase is intentional, chosen because it genuinely enriches our lives. Whether it's an experience like exploring a new place or something as simple as a book that broadens our perspective, we focus on what adds value to our journey, not just to our homes. This shift has brought a profound transformation. It's not just about saving money, although that's a welcome benefit. It's about reorienting ourselves, freeing our minds from the grip of materialism, and finding joy in things that resonate with us on a deeper level. Now, we walk into our homes, and they feel lighter, filled with meaning rather than clutter. Our hearts feel the same. Each purchase we make now tells a story. No longer do we buy things to fill a void. We buy them to create memories, to foster growth, to nourish the soul. It's a path of mindful spending, a shift that's no longer about accumulating but about curating a life that truly fulfills us. This change may seem small on the surface, but it reshapes our entire approach to living. We have discovered that letting go of mindless spending isn't about denying ourselves pleasures. It's about finding pleasures that last. It's about choosing quality over quantity, meaning over impulse. Every decision becomes an opportunity to focus on what truly matters and to let go of what doesn't. Our lives have become simpler, our minds clearer. We've gained more than we ever thought possible, not in things, but in moments that count. We've come to understand that when we choose with intention, we enrich our lives far more than any amount of mindless consumption ever could. 3. Letting go of stressing over the small things. When we're young, it's easy to let minor setbacks feel monumental. Traffic delays, casual disagreements, unexpected schedule changes. They all seemed capable of throwing us off balance. We would dwell on them, letting irritation simmer under the surface until it boiled over into stress that seemed inescapable. Each little inconvenience added up, creating a constant undercurrent of tension that drained our energy and robbed us of the present moment. But with time, perspective shifts. As we grow older, our priorities become clearer. By the time we reach 70, many of us find that we've developed a new way of seeing things. Now, when faced with an inconvenience, we might pause and ask ourselves, will this matter in a year? Almost always, the answer is a clear no. This simple question holds a surprising amount of power. It teaches us to separate what truly matters from what doesn't and helps us decide where to focus our energy. With this shift in perspective, we find ourselves less affected by life's small disturbances. We feel a weight lifting, a weight we didn't even realize we had been carrying. Decades of accumulated stress and worry begin to dissolve, freeing us to approach life with a clearer, calmer mind. This isn't to say that everything becomes effortless, but we learn to see challenges in a new light. We begin to feel a peace that was elusive in our younger years. This newfound clarity also reveals the beauty of letting go. Small setbacks no longer control us or shape our days. Instead, we let them drift away, knowing that they hold little consequence in the grand scheme of things. We stop giving these trivial matters space in our minds and hearts. As a result, we find ourselves more resilient, able to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with grace. Embracing this mindset doesn't mean we're passive. Rather, we actively choose where to place our attention. We become more mindful, focusing on what enriches our lives. We begin to notice the good around us, the laughter of loved ones, the warmth of a sunny day, the satisfaction of a small achievement. We savor these moments without distraction. Releasing the urge to control everything brings a sense of freedom. No longer weighed down by minor frustrations, we find our days filled with a quiet joy. We see opportunities for connection and contentment that might have been overshadowed by worry before. This shift allows us to be fully present, experiencing life more deeply. Ultimately, letting go of stress over the small things is a gift to ourselves. It enables us to reclaim our peace and choose joy, even amid life's imperfections. We gain a renewed appreciation for the simple moments, which hold more value than we ever realized. Through this change, we discover that life is richer and more fulfilling when we're no longer bound by the little things that once seemed so big. This wisdom brings clarity, simplicity, and ease. We stop fighting battles that aren't worth fighting. We accept that some things will always be beyond our control, and that's okay. By choosing peace over frustration, we allow ourselves to live more fully in the present, unburdened and free. Here are some helpful practices for letting go of stress over the small things and embracing a more peaceful mindset. 1. Pause and breathe. When a minor irritation arises, pause for a moment and take a few deep breaths. This simple act of slowing down can calm your mind and body, helping you respond more thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Deep breathing lowers stress hormones, giving you a moment to reflect before you let small frustrations affect your mood. 2. Ask, will this matter in a year? This question is powerful because it places daily challenges in perspective. If a year from now, you won't remember the issue, then it's probably not worth your energy today. Keep this question in mind whenever something threatens to stress you out. Most of the time, you'll find it's not as important as it first seemed. 3. Focus on what you can control. Recognize the difference between what you can change and what's out of your hands. If you can't alter the situation, like traffic or unexpected delays, accepting it can save you unnecessary stress. Focus on what you can control, such as your attitude and reactions, and let go of the rest. 4. Limit exposure to triggers. If certain situations or people frequently cause stress, try to limit your exposure to them when possible. Set healthy boundaries or, when faced with unavoidable triggers, bring awareness to your responses. Being mindful of how often you encounter these stressors can help reduce their impact on your daily life. 5. Redirect your focus. When you notice yourself getting frustrated, shift your focus to something that brings you joy. Think of something you're grateful for, or recall a happy memory. This redirection can lift your mood and remind you that life has so much more to offer than a single inconvenience. 6. Create space for positivity. Practicing gratitude and looking for small moments of happiness can help you focus less on minor annoyances. Take a few minutes each day to list things you're grateful for. With practice, you'll find that the small stuff becomes less significant as you build the habit of appreciating life's good moments. 7. Practice letting go in small steps. Start small by choosing one minor irritation and making a conscious decision to let it go. Whether it's being cut off in traffic or a long wait, remind yourself that it doesn't have to ruin your day. Each small victory builds resilience, and soon, letting go will feel natural. 4. Prioritizing self-care over pleasing others. So many of us fall into the habit of always putting others first. We pour our energy into meeting the expectations of family, friends, and colleagues. For years, we think it's a virtue, a badge of honor to wear with pride. We see selflessness as strength, convinced that by sacrificing our needs, we become better people. Yet over time, something happens. We start to feel exhausted, emotionally drained, and disconnected. Every ounce of our energy is given away, leaving little left to nourish ourselves. For some of us, this realization doesn't come until later in life. By 70, we may finally see a critical truth: self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. In a world that often rewards us for prioritizing others, we need to unlearn the belief that tending to our well-being is neglectful. We can begin with small, simple acts. A few minutes of quiet reflection in the morning can do wonders. Sitting with a cup of tea, savoring each sip, or taking a brief walk in nature offers peace that recharges the soul. And we can allow ourselves to rediscover the pleasure of getting lost in a good book, taking time to slow down and refuel. Mindfulness becomes a friend. We begin nurturing our minds by practicing gratitude, recognizing the good in our lives, and offering ourselves the kindness we so willingly give to others. It's a shift that impacts everything. When we care for ourselves, we find new energy, renewed patience, and even greater compassion to share with those around us. Taking care of our own needs doesn't diminish our ability to give, it strengthens it. The journey toward health doesn't have an expiration date. No matter where we are, it's never too late to start. Even the smallest commitment to well-being can create waves of positive change. How often do we place ourselves last? Imagine, just for a moment, if we shifted our focus. Imagine if we treated our health as the priority it deserves to be. A small step, a daily walk, a nutritious meal, a few quiet minutes of meditation, can transform how we experience each day. These simple changes alter the way we feel, move, and interact with the world. Embracing health as a priority becomes transformative. It's not simply about living longer, it's about living fully. It's about quality and fulfillment, about feeling energized and connected. And if a commitment to self-care can begin at 70, it's a powerful reminder that change is possible at any stage of life. So, what's one small thing we can start doing today to nourish our health? It may surprise us how deeply it impacts everything. 5. Tackling procrastination on personal goals. Time plays tricks on us. When we're young, it stretches out, seemingly endless, an expanse waiting to be filled. Then, almost in a blink, years start slipping by. We often get lost in day-to-day routines, telling ourselves that there will be time later to focus on those dreams quietly tucked away. But reality has a way of catching up with us. There comes a point, sometimes at a milestone birthday, sometimes in a quiet moment, when we realize there's no guarantee of later. Many of us have lived with the comfort of tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll work on that novel. Tomorrow, we'll learn that new language, take that trip, start that business, or pursue that long-held passion. But when we hit that turning point, when we finally recognize that time isn't limitless, it's a wake-up call. And it's powerful. This realization nudges us to stop waiting for some perfect moment and to begin acting on the goals we've held close but set aside for far too long. Imagine setting out to pursue those dreams with no more excuses, no more delays. We often think we're waiting for the right circumstances, but deep down, it's about courage, the courage to commit, even if we're uncertain or the path isn't fully clear. Taking action, however small, on something meaningful can be transformative. It lights a spark, and that spark fuels the rest of our journey. Each small step forward becomes a building block, lifting us closer to where we want to be. Once we begin, there's a shift. Suddenly, life feels purposeful, vibrant, and energized. Each day holds a sense of adventure, as if we're rediscovering the world around us and within us. The someday mentality fades, replaced by the satisfaction of living fully in the present. There's something undeniably freeing about knowing that we're finally investing in ourselves and our dreams, not just letting them linger on the sidelines. Perhaps you've told yourself you'd start later, that there's time ahead to pursue your personal goals. But think about it, what if you began today? What if that long-standing dream didn't wait another day? It doesn't have to be a massive leap. It could be a simple, deliberate action, a phone call, a class, a journal entry, a single page written, that sets the process in motion. Picture how life might look if you took that first step now. Imagine the feeling of fulfillment that comes from doing something you've always wanted, just because it matters to you. What's holding you back? Is it fear of failure, a lack of confidence, or maybe the busyness of life? These barriers lose their power when we decide that today, not tomorrow, is the time to start. We don't need a perfect plan, nor do we need to have all the answers. What we need is momentum. Momentum grows with each small step. And as we keep moving, those steps add up, leading us to places we never thought possible. Starting now, no matter where we are or how old we may feel, redefines the path ahead. It's not about age or circumstances, it's about willingness and heart. There's magic in letting go of the someday mindset and embracing today. We gain a renewed sense of enthusiasm and direction. By showing up each day for our goals, we're not just pursuing dreams, we're honoring the deepest parts of ourselves. Life becomes a journey filled with purpose, excitement, and joy. Is there a dream you've put on hold? A goal that's been quietly waiting? Why not bring it to life today? Imagine how different things might look if you chose now over later, action over waiting. You don't need perfection. All you need is the courage to begin. Once we stop delaying what truly matters, everything shifts. It's about stepping into our passions, even if that means starting small. In the end, those small steps become extraordinary. 6. Embracing change instead of fearing it. For so long, many of us hold a deep-seated fear of change. We cling to the comfort of familiar routines, convinced that stability brings safety. There's something undeniably soothing about the known, no surprises, no uncertainties. Yet, in the stillness of familiarity, we sometimes sense a restlessness, a feeling that we're outgrowing the boundaries we've created. As we move through life, especially as the years advance, we begin to understand that change is not something to dread. It's part of our journey, woven into the very fabric of growth. Change often arrives uninvited, yet it holds the potential for transformation. It's in these moments of upheaval that we discover new parts of ourselves, parts that lie dormant within the confines of the predictable. When we resist change, we deprive ourselves of these discoveries. By shifting our perspective, we can begin to see change not as a threat but as an invitation, a chance to shed old layers and step into a more authentic version of ourselves. When we choose to welcome change with open arms, we experience a profound shift. What once felt daunting becomes a pathway to unexpected adventures, new perspectives, and endless learning. There's a freedom that comes with letting go of the need to control every outcome. Embracing change adds a richness to life, opening doors we may have once been too fearful to approach. Each change, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity for growth. Instead of seeing change as something to fear, we can view it as a window to new possibilities. What might we learn? What new experiences could we gain? By facing change with curiosity rather than fear, we find that life offers us chances to evolve and expand beyond our comfort zones. We move closer to our true selves, unveiling new facets of our character, passions, and dreams. Imagine letting go of resistance and embracing each shift with a sense of wonder. How would life look if, instead of clinging to the past, we welcome the future with an open heart? Change becomes less of a hurdle and more of a stepping stone, leading us toward a life filled with meaning and discovery. Consider the changes you've been resisting. What if, rather than fearing them, you approached them as an adventure? What could unfold if you welcomed these shifts with curiosity instead of hesitation? Embracing change has the power to unlock dimensions of joy, growth, and freedom that remain hidden when we cling to the familiar. By viewing change as a friend, we open ourselves to a world of possibility and renewal. 7. Valuing sleep as a cornerstone of health ***. Sleep is a foundational element of well-being, yet it's often undervalued, especially in our younger years. We tend to think we can push through life with minimal rest, believing a few hours here and there will suffice. Whether it's work demands, social commitments, or the lure of distractions, we often sacrifice sleep without hesitation. We're all guilty of it, choosing activity over rest, convinced that there's always something more pressing. But over time, we come to realize just how much we've been shortchanging ourselves. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for the body, mind, and spirit. In the absence of adequate rest, we begin to feel the toll. We experience fatigue, diminished focus, and irritability. Our physical health falters, and our mental clarity wanes. It becomes clear that the energy we thought we were saving by staying up late is nothing but an illusion. As we get older, we start to understand the value of rest in a deeper way. Sleep isn't just about shutting our eyes at night, it's a vital process where our bodies repair, our minds reset, and our emotions find balance. When we sleep, our muscles rebuild, our cells regenerate, and our brains consolidate memories. Without this, we lose the ability to function at our best. The impact of sleep on our overall well-being is undeniable. It affects everything: our physical health, emotional state, and mental sharpness. Our performance at work, our relationships, and even our sense of happiness hinge on the quality of sleep we get. The more we honor sleep, the more we realize just how crucial it is for maintaining a strong, vibrant life. To prioritize sleep, we must make it a non-negotiable part of our daily routine. It's not enough to simply go to bed earlier. We need to create an environment and a mindset conducive to restful sleep. This means cutting out distractions, such as screens and noise, and embracing practices that signal to our bodies that it's time to relax. Whether it's a warm cup of herbal tea, a few pages of a good book, or calming meditation, these small rituals help us unwind and prepare for the deep rest we deserve. The difference these changes make is striking. Waking up refreshed, energized, and clear-headed has a profound impact on the quality of our days. We no longer drag ourselves through the morning, fueled by caffeine or sheer willpower. Instead, we feel energized, mentally sharp, and ready to take on whatever the day throws our way. This newfound vitality allows us to approach life with a sense of purpose and clarity. Our health, both mental and physical, thrives when we value sleep. It's a game changer, one of the most rewarding adjustments we can make. Not only does it restore our bodies, but it also renews our minds and balances our emotions. In short, sleep is a cornerstone of good health, and once we truly embrace its power, we unlock a level of well-being that transforms the way we live. When we prioritize sleep, we give ourselves the opportunity to show up as the best versions of ourselves. It's a simple yet profound shift, one that reaps benefits in every aspect of life. And once we experience the positive changes that come from this, we realize just how essential sleep is for living fully. 8. Letting go of comparisons ***. We grow up measuring ourselves against others, often without even noticing. We watch achievements, appearances, and lifestyles, wondering how our lives stack up. It feels natural, as if validation must come from seeing our worth beside others' successes. We look at career milestones, personal achievements, even superficial markers like appearance, allowing others' lives to shape how we see ourselves. But with time comes wisdom. Around 70, a shift happened. We saw that comparison quietly drains our joy. The endless comparisons didn't make us happy. They fed self-doubt, envy, and quiet dissatisfaction. We began to look inward, honoring our own unique journey. Each of us walks a distinct path. There is no universal measure of success or happiness. Each path holds its own timeline, its own trials and victories. Freeing ourselves from the grip of comparison, We found something more precious than outward approval: peace. A profound contentment surfaced as we started to cherish life as it is, no longer wishing for it to mirror someone else's. This shift was transformative. We felt lighter, free of the pressure to constantly measure up. The life we have lived is enough, more than enough. It is our own, unique and beautiful in every way. 9. Living with intention. We move into this chapter of life with a renewed focus, a focus on what truly nourishes us. No longer do we waste our energy on pursuits that drain or distract. Instead, we embrace what uplifts. Our days become centered on fulfillment, shared with people who genuinely support us. Life after 70 is not about slowing down. It's about deepening our purpose and filling each day with gratitude. If you're approaching or already in your 70s, take a quiet moment to reflect. What holds you back? Are there habits, thoughts, or connections that weigh you down? Our time is precious. Let's not spend it on what no longer serves us. Living with intention invites us to craft a life that embodies peace, joy, and purpose. And it's never too late to embrace this journey. Aging often carries the weight of decline, a whisper that life is somehow shrinking. But what if we saw it as a new beginning? An opening to embrace the truth of who we are, leaving behind what no longer aligns. This isn't about becoming someone else but rediscovering the essence of who we are. Creating a legacy of peace and joy becomes one of the richest gifts of aging. It's no longer only about what we do, but how we live. By prioritizing well-being, embracing change, and releasing what no longer serves us, we set a powerful example for those around us. We show that life needn't be flawless to be meaningful, and that change is possible at any age. Imagine living each day with intention and calm, not just for ourselves, but as an inspiration to others. Our choices echo, touching our children, grandchildren, friends, even our wider community, showing them the strength of growth at every stage. What kind of legacy do we wish to leave behind? How do we want to be remembered? If there is one change we could make today, let's consider what it would be, and take a step toward that intention. Our most fulfilling life is waiting. 10. Feeling disconnected. Staying connected is crucial as we age. Finding our community grounds us, making the world feel less daunting as we navigate life's changes. When familiar routines shift, whether through retirement, health changes, or the quiet hours of an empty nest, it's easy to drift into isolation. But we don't have to face it alone. Building connections brings new meaning and richness to our days. Our community doesn't need to be large. It only needs to be intentional. Look for shared interests. Rediscover the joy of old hobbies or explore new ones. Volunteer, not just to help others but to create bonds. Join a book club to share stories, or a walking group to fill the air with laughter and conversation. Even virtual connections matter. Online communities can spark deep friendships. Each relationship reminds us that we're never truly alone. At the center of this journey lies gratitude. Growing older often brings changes that make us pause, but gratitude shifts our gaze from what we've lost to what we've gained. It's not just about saying, "Thank you," but about feeling it deeply. Gratitude is savoring the morning quiet, noticing the soft light of a new day, or cherishing a warm cup of tea. Imagine each day starting with this perspective, a life seen not through longing for the past but through appreciation of the present. How would it change the way we see our world? We can cultivate this gratitude by noting small moments each day. A gratitude journal, perhaps listing 3 things we're thankful for, whether grand or simple, can brighten our outlook. Over time, we'll start to see beauty in the everyday. 11. Losing the motivation. Too often, we see aging as an ending. But what if, instead, we viewed it as a new beginning? Life after 70 isn't a closing chapter. It's a fresh start brimming with opportunities for growth, discovery, and connection. We're not defined by our past, but by the choices we make each day moving forward. What will this new chapter look like for us? How can we shape it into the most meaningful, fulfilling phase yet? As we turn the page, let's remember that we carry the wisdom, freedom, and power to create a story that honors who we are and all we've learned. The narrative is ours to write, and the possibilities remain vast. Living intentionally means moving forward with purpose, knowing each choice can bring us closer to fulfillment. It's about making conscious decisions that reflect who we are today, rather than who we were or what society expects us to be. This might mean setting firmer boundaries, slowing down, or simplifying certain parts of life. It might involve redefining what success means to us and recognizing that our values now may differ from what they were 20, 30, or even 40 years ago. Each morning brings a fresh chance to live intentionally. Take a few moments at the start of each day to set a simple intention. It doesn't have to be complex. Perhaps it's as easy as choosing to be kind to ourselves or deciding to spend time on something we love. A small intent can shape a day filled with purpose. Letting go can be one of the most challenging, yet freeing, things we do. It takes courage to release the familiar, even when we know it no longer serves us. Letting go is an act of self-love, creating space for new, healthier things to grow. When we hold on out of fear or comfort, we close ourselves off from the fullness of life. As we step into this new chapter, let's think about areas where we feel stuck. Are there habits we've carried for years that no longer align with who we are today? Are there relationships that drain us instead of nourishing us? Perhaps it's time to release the need for perfection or the fear of change. Letting go isn't about abandoning our past. It's about honoring our journey by making room for what's ahead. Let's reflect on one area of life where we feel stuck. What's one small thing we could release today to move forward with greater ease? Letting go may feel difficult at first, but it's one of the most powerful ways to honor the person we are becoming. It's easy to focus on what's next, what's left to do, what we still want to accomplish. But it's equally important to pause and celebrate how far we've come. Every step toward living with intention, every choice to let go, and every moment of embracing change is a victory worth acknowledging. As we look to the future, we see life after 70 brimming with possibility. This chapter is not for slowing down or settling but for embracing the freedom, wisdom, and experience that age brings. We've lived fully, and now, with all we've learned, we can shape our future with intention and joy. The best is yet to come, not because life will be perfect, but because we have the power to live each day with purpose and curiosity. Imagine each morning as a doorway to growth, connection, and new experiences. Our best days may still be ahead, each step bringing us closer to a life filled with authenticity and gratitude. We hold the power to create this future, crafting each moment to align with our values and passions. Together, let's let go of what no longer serves us. Each release, from habits to beliefs that no longer resonate, opens space for clarity, peace, and freedom. We're ready to focus on what truly matters, the people, passions, and moments that bring meaning to our days. At the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect on what has resonated. Is it the importance of living intentionally, or the beauty of embracing each new chapter? Share your thoughts below. One lesson, one commitment, one way you plan to bring intention into your life. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support is invaluable, and we're excited to continue bringing content that inspires growth, joy, and purpose. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.